Elise Eden, part of Azure Standard, was created for people who care about being thoughtful with what they buy, what they eat, and where it comes from. Growing even a small garden is a simple way to live that out. With healthy plant starts grown in Oregon from trusted non-GMO seeds, along with quality garden essentials, Elise Eden makes it easier to begin. Gardening helps you slow down, choose carefully, and stay connected to real food and the land. Learn more about Elise Eden at azurestandard.com.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Rubin-Sowers, the dad.
And I am Judson Morrow, the daddy.
Judson, I love you and your Brooklyn Cyclones pride jersey.
Oh my gosh, I knew you would get it because that was our first sponsorship.
I love it. You look fabulous.
Thank you. I feel really good, and it's also so nice. I've said this before, it's boring to talk about the weather, but given that it was the worst winter in the history of New York City,
I mean,
it's nice to be in my history in New York City.
Let's
Sorry.
clarify.
Winter in New York in the 1800s was probably pretty terrible. It's just nice to be able to wear short sleeves outside.
Yes, I know. I am also in short sleeves. It feels so nice. And you seem all bright and bushy-tailed, which makes me happy because I know you've been saying your sleep has been not great.
Yeah.
So I'm so curious about your sleep last night.
How well did I sleep
How
yesterday
well did you
evening?
sleep last night, Judson?
So, new marital kink unlocked.
Okay.
My husband met this OnlyFans content creator at Folsom Festival in San Francisco a couple years ago. Online, they hooked up and have kept in touch ever since then.
Nice.
This man lives in Denver. My husband has been to Denver for work and they've seen each other. And very recently, he had gone to Barcelona and was coming through New York City to get back to Denver.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, I'm going to be passing through on this trip. Would love to meet your husband. Can I stay with you guys? And I was like, fuck yeah.
Wow.
I had seen the video that he had made with my husband. I had seen his other content on OnlyFans. And I was just like, I would be flattered just to have this man under our roof. We don't even need to do anything.
Wait. This video with your husband.
Correct.
That is for private home use only?
No, babe. It is posted on his OnlyFans.
And are there royalties paid to your husband?
That is not how OnlyFans works.
Oh, okay. I don't know how OnlyFans works.
Yeah. I think if you're also a content creator, there's probably an agreed upon split.
Right. But if you're a guest star who is not a content creator, is your husband a content creator and I didn't know?
Totally. He's going to be so mad at this episode. So we had a really lovely time. We all had dinner together, and after dinner, I'm doing the dishes, and my husband was like, hey, we're just going to go lay down and cuddle. And I was like, sweet, let's do it. And we just had this super sweet sexual experience that started with just cuddling in the bed, naked. And there was a lot of kissing and touching, and it never got to full penetration, nor did it have to. It was so fucking sexy. And because I'm our listeners are going to roll their eyes, Demi now.
Yes.
Because I had the time before dinner and dinner to get to know him personally, I was like, God, this guy is not just hot. He's super sincere.
Right.
And afterward, my husband offered for him to sleep in the bed with us, which we have never done before.
Right.
And the three of us had a lovely night's sleep.
What size bed do you have?
Humble brag, a king.
Okay. We do too. Even with a king, I cannot imagine that.
We just had a hot little boy sandwich. It was really great. And then this morning...
That will never happen in the Rubin-Sowers household. Ever, ever, ever. Even I, who am the one who's all about group activity, I can't imagine inviting a third person to sleep in the bed with us.
I think because, well, 2 nights prior, I had a really terrible sleep.
Yeah, you mentioned.
The night prior, I had basically caught up.
Right.
So last night, I was like, oh, whatever happens is worth it. Even if it's a restless night, if it's this man in my bed, like I'm willing.
And was there touching and cuddling throughout the night once you were asleep?
Yeah, we like spooned and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then this morning, we all had coffee together. My husband logged on for work. I logged on for work. He went to the airport.
I thought you were going to say he logged on for work and filmed a video out of your apartment.
Apparently, I mean, I actually left to go. I did a bunch of work in the morning and then I went to yoga. They hooked up again while I was at yoga. Wow. And then he left for the airport. So, yeah, we actually shared our bed with another man.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fascinated.
I am too. And it just feels like really sweet and really new and really cool that after 16 years together, we can do these new things.
Yes, that's incredible. That has been one of the most fun discoveries for me of late, is just doing new things with my husband, who I have been with for 14 years, married for almost 12. And
I'm taking notes on what you do with your husband. I'm
after he hears this, we're going to invite somebody to sleep in the bed with us. No, we can't do that because there are nights where our children have nightmares and they sleep in the bed with us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it feels very sweet and I'm grateful, and it just was a really, really cool experience. Nice end to the week.
I'm so happy to know the context because until this moment, listeners, all I knew, I received some very cryptic texts from Judson last night saying that they were going to have a guest in their bed, and I thought it was his way of telling me they got a pet.
Oh, like we got a puppy. We have a guest in our bed. Yeah, yes. I can see that.
And then I got 2 images texted to me of what this man's body looks like. And I knew the OnlyFans component. And I was curious if there was money exchange, but this all makes sense.
Even if there had been money exchange.
No, there was going to be no judgment. I was just curious.
Right. Yeah. I've said this on the pod a lot. Like, I am very open and have historically paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. That's a great update.
I mean, I guess I did pay for it. Like, I did have to clean the house a little bit.
And so last night in this romantic, cuddly, sexual experience, like you said, that lacked penetration, did you all come?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Wow.
But it was like kissing, touching, cuddling.
Right.
He was in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Wow. I love that. Meanwhile, everybody listening is awaiting my update from the hotel where we recorded last week with Sydney James Harcourt.
Yes. What happened? Did
Absolutely nothing.
Lightning did not strike twice.
Lightning did not strike twice. And I kicked you out. I restored the room to looking like a hotel room from our podcast studio. And
by the way, your kicking me out was super gracious, and I was in a hurry to go. I was like, I got shit to do.
Yes.
Brian has plans,
right? And hey, I was doing it for the content, right? So I was part of the job. Nothing. After I think I gave it about 3 hours, and then I just called it. And I texted my husband. I texted you. I was like, this is not happening. I just think that part of town is particularly competitive. It's that phenomenon that we talk about in the city that you can't even see the map on Sniffies for all the guys on. And everybody's just always looking for something just a little bit better.
Other than Bushwick, Brooklyn, I would say you were in the highest concentration of who's online.
Yeah. So, anyway, it was fine. I was not nearly as enamored with that particular hotel anyway as I was my previous hotel that I chose. So, it was fine. And, I don't know. I have not had any luck lately on the apps. Of course, largely when I'm doing it, I have a time constraint. Like the other day, I had one of those 2-hour blocks in the city where my kid was in an after-school program. I was sitting in a coffee shop nearby truly with the intent of hooking up. And a few conversations here and there, but nobody could host. And then as soon as I was on the subway back home with my daughter, and the rest of the night, my grinder was just blowing up,
oh my
blowing
God.
up, and blowing up. It was so annoying.
Inevitable. It's every, like, for folks who, like, don't know the New York City subway, the train that gets us from Manhattan to our neighborhood is underground, and then it goes above ground over the bridge. So you have a signal for a little bit, and then it goes back underground.
But each station does have service for the most part.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Here is the moment of gratitude.
Yes.
I don't mean to annoy you with this because I'm sure that was frustrating, but we got to interview the insanely talented Sydney James Harcourt. And what I want to add here, because I think you were going to ask me about it anyway.
I am.
I went to see the Jellicle Ball this week.
Yes.
And every faggoty bone in my body is broken.
And you're not a theater person.
Not at all.
There was a commenter on one of our reels this week that was like, Broadway, blah, 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 just because the guest was a Broadway person. But so now, a Cats the Jellicle Ball review coming from somebody who is not a theater person.
Okay, so as a non-theater person, Cats is really fucking weird and random, and I feel like
the
baseline production. Yeah. It's like, hey, let me take this really obscure book of poems about cats from 1939, introduce you to all of them through music, and then at the end, one of them gets the permission to die. Like, it's so crazy.
Yes.
This iteration of it is just joy and queer fuckery.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. The costumes are beautiful. The music is amazing. And just like all the ballroom runway walks are sick as fuck. It's so cool.
And isn't it insane how it makes this nonsensical show make sense?
I know. I was like, I think this is the only way it can make sense to me. At the same time, there are probably conversations about what does it mean for something as sacred as ballroom culture to come to the mainstream. I don't know how to talk about it that way. All I'm saying is like I was exposed to something that I know is part of the larger queer culture in a way that was like fucking really engaging.
What I will say about that particular point is that there are so many people either on that stage or involved with the production directly out of ballroom culture.
Right.
Junior LaBeija is in the show, who is, a prominent part of Paris is Burning. The choreographers of the show came out of ballroom. McCavity is played by Laomi, who's like a big ballroom legend. Like there's, I think, Temperance Chastity Moore, who plays Grisabella, is, and there's even footage of her in her ballroom days during the show. So I do think it has ballroom's blessing. And as part of the show...
Ballroom's blessing. I love that. Because so much of what we get culturally doesn't have the blessing of the origin.
Right. And there's a sweet part of the show, the first, I would say, maybe quarter or third of the show, there are guest judges, judging the runways. And every performance, it's a different pair of judges. And many of the judges they've been bringing up are also out of the ballroom scene. So I do think it has ballroom's blessing. I'm so glad you loved it, because it would have been one of those kinds of things that would have been the demise of our friendship if you hadn't. So
next stop for the pod.
Yeah.
Guest judges. Next stop for the pod, guest judges. I will feel like I have hit the pinnacle of my homosexuality if I am a guest judge on Cats the Jellicle Ball.
I mean, we told Sydney that was a dream, so let's see if we can make it happen. So other updates I have for you. I had my cataract surgery.
I remember, and I did not check in because I'm not a good friend. But you look great and are like very just out and about doing the thing.
Yes. So I had my surgery yesterday. I went in pretty nervous because of just the way that the doctor had described the procedure to me. I have one of these doctors that speaks almost exclusively in medical terms that I just can't understand. So I finally spoke to a nurse earlier in the week who like really brought it down into layman's terms, and I was able to understand and felt much better about it. But But, he had sent me a couple of prescriptions before the procedure for some eye drops, but no pain meds and no nausea meds, which I knew there was some anesthesia involved. And so I was a little surprised about that. And the nurse said, no, you're not going to need pain meds. It's the craziest thing. I don't know what cataract surgery involves, but even having just been through it, but you're literally not in pain.
Okay, is the only thing I can relate it to is how when you get your wisdom teeth pulled, they can either put you under or do localized anesthesia on that part of your mouth. Yeah. Did you go under, or did they just inject your eyeballs with something?
No, it was somewhere in between those two. So no, they did not inject my eyeballs. They did. I was on anesthesia, but I had to stay awake the whole time because you're supposed to follow certain look up, look down, whatever commands. But I have no recollection of any of that. It was so here's my fun story.
That feels so claustrophobic. You're just trapped in your body while you're. Wow.
No, you know what it felt like? It felt like when you just you close your eyes against the sun and you're just seeing shapes. So here's my fun story about my surgery. So I get there and the anesthesiologist comes in to meet with you and he's explaining to me that you're not going to be fully out, but you're also not going to have any care in the world of what's going on. And this man walks in and is clearly a homosexual, just so clearly a homosexual in the sweetest way. I was, but it's really funny because obviously we're this invisible minority in this way. And I always have this primal urge when I see somebody else who is gay in a situation like that, where we're not out at a bar, where we're not out, at a sex party.
We're in we're in essentially a straight context.
Yeah, it's I want to say
hey girl.
Hey, yeah, exactly. But how do you do that, right? In an appropriate way. So, but one of the things he has to do is go through what medications I'm on. And so of course I'm Descovy. And he says, you and me both.
Good.
Which I thought was so sweet. And and then he says, I'm not sure I was supposed to say that, but we need that. It was just a really nice moment of community of just
well, and also just comfort in a really scary situation. Yeah. And what's crazy, for all of our recovery folks who listen, you're telling me about how the anesthesia.
Oh, sorry.
No. I was going to say, you're telling me how the anesthesia works.
Yeah.
I'm I need to get eye surgery.
Well, I've got an anesthesiologist for you. So anyway, the surgery was fine. Before you get the anesthesia is actually when they make some of the incisions with the laser. And that was the most uncomfortable part because they put this plastic device in your eye to keep your eyelids from blinking.
Yeah.
And you have to sit there for 5 minutes with this laser suctioned onto your eye. So that wasn't lovely, but I just thought about my husband and my kids and the Jellicle Ball in Disneyland, and that got me through it. And then I got my anesthesia, and my gay pal says to me, he says, well, tell me when you start to feel it. And I said, well, how am I going to know if I start to feel it? He says, well, it's going to feel like you've taken half a shot of tequila. And that's the last thing I remember. I never told him anything. I don't remember anything. And the whole procedure is a 20-minute procedure. And so I was done even before Toby was able to get to me. He had to drop the kids at school and then come to me.
Because you need someone to pay. That's the whole thing.
Yes.
You need, if you get anesthesia,
yes.
You need someone to pick you up.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was so quick. There was zero pain. So I was able to just have my day yesterday and do the work I needed to do. I went to go see my older daughter's show that she was in a production of Annie. She played a stop sign.
Wait. So this whole thing happens and then you go have a fucking day?
Yep.
That's very you.
No,
I don't
but it was
that's
totally possible. It was really easy.
Okay.
And so I went to my daughter's show. Yesterday I had this plastic eye patch, but a hard plastic see-through eye patch over my eye, taped to my face, and wore my glasses over that. So I looked kind of scary, and it was a little odd being out in social situations like my kids' school. But then, I went back to the doctor this morning. They took it off. If you didn't know, you wouldn't have known that I had surgery yesterday.
I'm really proud of how well you're managing your own health. Seriously.
Thank you. My mom
Great
thinks
job.
I should be in bed. But there's no,
We all recover in different ways.
Yeah, totally.
And if it feels better to go out into the world and do the things, then
sure.
that is just as good as someone else's, bed rotting with Netflix.
Yes.
That's okay.
And I also wanted to thank so many of our listeners who reached out either via email or DM and shared their cataract surgery stories with me and encouraged me and told me it would be fine and easy. And I really, really appreciate it. And I also want to take the opportunity while talking about that just to say we do see all of your DMs and all of your emails. And I just apologize that we just can't respond to all of them quickly enough or at all sometimes.
It's the nicest problem in the world.
It's the nicest problem in the world. And I do want you to know that we see them and we read them. But the volume of work just associated with getting this podcast out sometimes just has to take precedence. And so do know that they are read and loved and appreciated. And if you are asking us for recommendations or for advice or that is outside of a Go Ask Your Dad or favors or whatever it is, I really apologize if we haven't gotten back to you. It is not out of any malintent other than just like being super busy putting out this podcast.
Yeah. And, with the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I want to wrap it up with my music recommendation.
Okay.
I love Olivia Rodrigo in general.
Yeah.
I think she is so talented.
My older daughter's first concert.
I am spiritually a 15-year-old girl and an 85-year-old woman, and she appeals to both of those in me. And what I love about her is that she's like dreamy and romantic, and also, unlike some pop stars who will not be named,
she's fucking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen to the lyrics.
Yeah,
like
she sings about sex.
She's also fucking.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Drop Dead, I have listened to probably 45 times over the last week.
I need to listen to it again.
I cannot
get a few listens.
I cannot get enough of it. I don't know why.
And there's like 6 music videos for it.
I don't know why it hits so hard. Maybe it's just the moment of life I'm in, but I just adore it and cannot wait for this album. And also because she listens to this podcast, obviously.
Come on the show.
Olivia, come on the show. But also, like, thank you for such a beautiful single.
My kids get upset with me when we have a guest that they really want to, see in person. Like they love Gray Henson. They were sad that they missed Gray when Gray was here. They love Cat's Angelical Ball, so they were sad that we recorded with Sydney somewhere else. So they've started naming celebrities and saying, okay, so if you get this person on the show, can we skip school that day? And so I think I've promised for Chapel Roan, they can skip school.
Totally.
I forget who else they've asked. RuPaul, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yes, I've said yes to most of their asks.
Whatever they can. Okay, if we get Chapel Roan or RuPaul on the show, whatever they can learn by being in the presence of them. Yeah. Is way more important than whatever. No offense, New York City public schools, but is way more important than what they're going to fucking learn at school that day.
Yeah, seriously. I have something that is educational for all of us. It is this week's Hookup of the Week.
Let's learn.
Hookup of the Week. Hey, so this story takes place after my 20th high school reunion. I'm in my hometown on a rainy, late night. The events of the day have already happened, and I'm in my hotel room right after I found out that this person who I had hooked up with earlier in the summer in P-Town was not going to be able to make it over. So I'm horny in a hotel room, feeling like teenage horniness because I'm back home. And I hop on the apps, and on Sniffies, I get hit up by this blank profile. Now, I really love to vet blank profiles because either they can be really hot or they're duds, I find. Especially as a non-binary femme, I really want to take my time with it. And so I actually start talking to this person. The flirting is great. He is this person who's about 20 years older than me, this gray hair, handsome, chiseled face. And as we talk, we find out actually that we've worked in a similar place and that he actually worked at my college right before I was there, and we know people in common. So it just feels like, okay, I think I can invite this guy over because he's going to be driving through my town. And so 20 minutes later, he comes on over he comes into the room, wonderful gentleman, and is just flirting right away and lets me take the lead. We start kissing. And as we kiss, we had talked about dad-son dynamics, and I like to be called daddy in those situations. And so we're going at it, and I start eating him out, and he starts calling me daddy as I'm eating him out. And that evolves into fucking, and we get to that level of fucking where the intensity grows and grows and grows until our grip of the mattress sort of reaches its extreme, and we collapse, like our bodies can't do anymore. And in that moment of collapse where we're starting to cuddle, he actually uses my pronouns of they, them, which is such a turn on, especially in those moments of relaxation, to have that affirmation. And for me, coming can be a real challenge. So I hadn't had an orgasm, and he starts to hold me, and we both are jacking me off. And that dynamic just leads me to start to call him daddy, and he leans into that even more. It's an amazing hot night. And then we make plans to actually see each other in Provincetown this past summer. And so we actually get to meet up this past summer, and we first meet up socially and flirt among friends, which is just such a tension-building turn on. And he comes over to my place for 2 different nights. That first night, it has that feeling of like our breath syncs up as we like come together, and our bodies start to feel each other. Like I can feel his pulse and heartbeat on my chest as I'm fucking him, and he's saying my name. There's a certain point where like I get to come and scream his name loudly as possible. And afterwards we're cuddling, and he just starts to toss in this level of flirting like, well, if you were in college when I was there, this would have happened. And we've already talked about ethics, so I know that this is just role play, and we get to talk through it and lean into it. And then he comes over 2 days later, and we meet, we make out, and then we have this wonderful sex, and we're there, we've had an orgasm, our bodies are sort of stuck together with sweat, and I look down and I'm like, damn, he has a giant dick that I was sucking on earlier. And so I'm there with this like big dick daddy who tends to be a top, and he's calling me daddy. So with that, I walk him to the door, I say goodnight, and I stand there and feel that life is good.
Hookup of the week.
Oh my God. My skin is tingling right now.
Love the great sex that our listeners have.
Oh,
it makes me so happy.
I am thrilled. And 2 things. I have my 25th high school reunion in the windshield. And this makes me so excited for what might transpire when I go, quote unquote, home.
I thought
for
that was such a good, so relatable that like there's a horniness that you get at your childhood home being, I don't know, just like being in puberty again. It like puts you back there somehow. And so I totally could relate to that.
What I realized in listening to this too is we collectively on the show offer this very ample definition of daddy.
Yes, I love it.
And because like I also fit it at the same time, like rather aesthetically and age-wise, if we're thinking in limited bands, it's so nice to hear from a non-binary, a listener who, because we want to lead with the person first, a listener who is non-binary femme, who is daddy.
Yes.
That is it. And someone else who identifies similarly is going to know they too are daddy.
Yes.
That's fucking sick.
I also just like, you are so self-possessed. Like I was envious of like how comfortable you are in your own skin and body. I was like, I want that level of confidence. And the ability to also, within one interaction, go from the one person being the daddy to the other person being the daddy was also beautiful to me. I just love this whole...
Daddy on daddy is also a thing.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so...
Yeah, it's really great. And I'm just so happy. It makes me really happy.
Thank you so much. And like, thank you for setting a fucking dope example for our listeners.
Yeah, exactly. Please continue to send in your hookups of the week. Just record them on your phone using your voice memo or voice recorder app, and then email them to dadsandaddies@gmail.com. And then, you'll hear it on the podcast shortly thereafter. Next week, very excited to bring you our interview with Nick Wolney, author of Money Proud, the queer guide to generate wealth, slay debt, and build good habits to secure your future. And then the week after that, we will have Zachary Zane, author of Boy Slut, a memoir and manifesto. So if you haven't picked up either yet, please do and read them so you can enjoy those episodes even more. And right now, we're going to take a break, and we will come back with our very special guest all the way in from Los Angeles, Rich Burns.
See you in a moment.
Ellie's Eden, part of Azure Standard, was created for people who care about being thoughtful with what they buy, what they eat, and where it comes from. Growing even a small garden is a simple way to live that out. With healthy plant starts grown in Oregon from trusted non-GMO seeds, along with quality garden essentials, Ellie's Eden makes it easier to begin. Gardening helps you slow down, choose carefully, and stay connected to real food and the land. Learn more about Ellie's Eden at azurestandard.com.
Hey, listeners, welcome back to Dads and Daddies, the podcast from Los Angeles, California to South Brooklyn. Welcome to the studio, Rich Burns.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good to have
be
you.
here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you.
I'm very happy to be here.
What brings you to New York?
You guys.
Wow.
Stop.
Yeah, no, it's part, yeah.
This shithole?
Oh, stop.
Well,
I meant New York City, not Brian's beautiful home.
no, it was this, and it was also, it gives me an opportunity to go to Connecticut to see my 98-year-old mother.
Oh, wow.
Who I've not seen for 4 years, so I'm a very bad son.
Oh, wow. 98.
She's 98.
Wow. Good for her.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She drives her Subaru to church.
Stop.
Yeah, she does yard work.
My husband's father is 96. His girlfriend is 92. And they are out here crushing it. Like, it's kind of, I mean,
Where do they live?
she lives in Queens and he lives in Brooklyn.
Wow, so they...
That alone is enough to break up relationships.
Yeah. Like
It's
a
long distance.
Right. Okay, Rich Burns is the writer, creator, and star of the Humanitas Prize-winning digital series The Disappointments, now in its second season. This episode will be airing May the 5th, so the 7th of 8 episodes will have just aired. We are recording this after the very revealing episode 5 just aired.
Yeah.
So excited to talk more about that. He also created and serves as the head writer for the Netflix original series Mermaid Magic, which debuted August 2024 at number 1 on Netflix Kids, with the second season coming in 2026. My 7-year-old daughter will be very excited for that news.
Did she watch it?
When I asked her, she said yes. She said she's watched a lot, if not all of it. So, yeah. And then
Me
she...
too. Not all of it, but I've watched a lot of it.
And then she and I watched the first episode of it this morning. He also developed and wrote on the Netflix reboot of the animated series Winx Club, The Magic is Back, and is currently developing the second season.
Mm-hmm.
He served as head writer on 2 other recent Netflix chart toppers, DreamWorks' Spirit Riding Free and She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Mm-hmm.
That's very exciting. The whole Masters of the Universe world is having a very big year.
I mean, she made me gay. She-Ra. And Jem.
Jem.
That's their superpower.
Yeah.
Rich was a staff writer at Walt Disney Feature Animation, scripting successful sequels to Brother Bear, Annie Award nominated for Best Feature Screenplay, The Fox and the Hound, and The Little Mermaid, among others. His live-action feature script, The Dunes of Overveen, based on a true story about a gay artist in Amsterdam who led a resistance raid against the Nazis during World War II, won an Outfest Award for Best Unproduced Screenplay.
I sound impressive.
You are impressive.
No, totally.
And by the way, you also look impressive.
Thank you. Trying to hold it together.
Oh, please.
Like all of us out here, every single person listening to this.
We're so excited to have you because, when we started this podcast almost 2 years ago, Our aim was to create something for what we didn't want to use the term mature because we felt that implied, your mother and her generation and their friends.
Sure.
So we went with adult, and we called it Adult Gay Men. And now we're talking about, like, do we need to even open that definition up more? Because we've learned over the 2 years that our listeners are not just gay men. But what we love about you and about the disappointments is this storytelling for
this stage of life.
And you are very out and proud about your actual age, correct? You are 64. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It's better than not being here.
Oh my God. And you look incredible. You're living, you're clearly thriving with, the disappointments being such a huge success. So we just thought, gosh, we're clearly kindred spirits, and there's so much to chat about. So thank you for flying out for us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm very happy, very thrilled.
We have a friend in common, Eric Williams, at That's a Gay Ass Podcast.
I was just on his podcast.
I know you were.
And I just saw his one-man show. He is amazing.
As did I.
He's so talented. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, he's quite something.
Actually, when you guys were on, when you were on his show, he even brought us up. He brought up Dads and Daddies. That was fun to hear.
This is the crossover episode.
Eric, come on out.
Yeah. And what I also love about the disappointments, and we talk about this a lot, is that these are three friends who are not necessarily in the greatest state financially, romantically.
Yeah, no.
And, we live in this world, our podcast has evolved to becoming so much about debunking and removing shame, right? We live in this like social media dominated world where we're all just showing our best lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so kind of comforting to see these stories of really relatable people who are losing their jobs or
their friends.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a little bit of an origin story of, how you came to decide this was your story to tell?
Well, it started, I had a conversation with a couple of friends in a restaurant called Merrick's in West Hollywood.
I love Merrick's that recently reopened, and I happened to be in LA the night that it reopened, and I was there.
I don't know. It's not the same. It's really weird.
Well,
yeah. Anyway,
they still had the deep fried apple pie, so I was happy.
The food is exactly the same.
Yes.
I don't. Something feels weird about it. Maybe it's just because it was closed for 6 years.
Right.
But yeah, we were having dinner there, and a friend recently had committed suicide, and as we were talking, we realized several had over the course of about a year and a half or 2 years, and they were all men of certain ages, and it seemed that they had sort of given up, like they didn't. When I say men of certain ages, they were all like 50 or a little bit above that. And they had not had their careers didn't pan out the way they had wished they had, or one guy had kind of lost everything. And they just felt so stuck. They saw no other way out. And we got into this conversation about that. Like, it seems like a lot of people that you reach a certain age and you haven't fulfilled your life, you don't have the career you hoped you would have, and you don't have the finances you'd hope you have, or whatever the case may be. You're at a point where it's not what you imagined it to be. There are people who pivot and they reinvent themselves. If it's work, they become real estate agents or therapists or whatever it may be. There are people who kind of stick with it and continue to chase down the dream, even though it hasn't paid off yet. And then there's luckily not that many who just decide, no, I'm done. And that conversation kind of became the little ember for me to want to write this show.
I love that the opening of the show every week is a vision board of what, life is going to look like. It's going to travel and fancy cars and all this stuff. And then slowly but surely it all falls apart and just leaves that picture of the three of you. It says so much in just that
Thank you.
quick moment. Yeah.
I feel like there's a fourth group too, and it's those who discover gratitude, which is really like, I know how annoying that sounds. But as someone who has, like, it is much easier for me at this stage of my life to look at the things, quote unquote, on paper and be like, actually, all of this is like really fucking sweet, even though it's like very different from what I thought it might or could have been.
Right. It's acceptance.
Yeah.
I think
capital A.
Like in the show, Gary's character kind of represents that.
Yeah.
He's the one who's spiritually more centered and Getty Watanabe plays that part, and which is easy to write for Getty because Getty himself is like that.
I mean, so for those of you who that name rings a bell, Getty Watanabe is an icon. Was made probably most famous in his youth in 16 Candles as a very famous character that now could not show up on our screens, of course.
He kind of couldn't show up then either. He got so much crap for that.
But I believe the character was Long Duck Dong.
Yes.
And
just to, I don't know if you'd noticed this or not, but his girlfriend in 16 Candles was played by Debbie Pollack, and Debbie Pollack in our show plays his manager.
Oh, did not make the connect.
Yeah, so it's
cool.
Our little call out, shout out to 16
I love that.
Candles.
What a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
And I was telling Rich before the show that I had a really wonderful experience I was 20 and I was an intern at a theater in San Diego called La Jolla Playhouse, and Getty was in a production there. I was The Good Person of Szechuan, which is a very famous Brecht play. It was adapted by Tony Kushner, who wrote Angels in America. It starred a woman named Charlene Woodard and Lou Diamond Phillips, who many of us of a certain age remember from La Bamba. And I got to work very closely that summer with Getty, and he could not have been a lovelier person. So it's so easy for me to see him in this role because he is the kind of light.
Yes.
And he gets many a moment of just dancing montages throughout the series.
There's more coming. There's more coming.
He also represents a lot of the hope, right, in the show. He's gone through some stuff. For the first season was very hard on him. We've also heard of stuff in his past before the show that was very hard on him. And season 2 really finds kind of everybody in a better place, but they're all in roller coasters, right? Like they're always going up, they're always coming down, but there's always another up in their future, which I think is really important for these people that you're talking about who are giving up to try, and like Judson's talking about acceptance, to try to remember that this is not a straight path we're on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of to that point too is, so the 5th episode is out, and that's the breakup. We finally find out why Ray and Dwight broke up.
Yeah.
And it's been fascinating, the reaction to it, because there are people, and I almost think if it's broken by age, there's a marker where from here forward, heading towards closer to my age or whatever, people get Ray. They understand why he is so messed up, and they understand the whole process of what he's going through and why he makes this giant mistake that he makes.
Right.
And then there are people who it feels like it's coming from younger people when I look at the profiles and I click on them,
sure,
who are so like, no, he's terrible. He's like, I hate this show. It goes from I hate the show to vomit emojis to this man is criminally insane, like just so negative. And
I mean, they're engaging.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I love about it. It's like creating this debate.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, also thank you. We have realized this about being in this medium. It's thank you for vocally disliking this, because all you're doing is pushing it to other people. This is say all the shit you want. The algorithm is agnostic to whether it's positive or negative.
Absolutely.
No, but I did find the reason for the breakup really interesting because, and I don't want to spoil too much for people who maybe haven't gotten there yet or are new to the disappointments, but, cheating is such an interesting concept these days in our universe because open relationships have become so prevalent.
Correct.
And, Judson and I are both in very happy and successful open marriages. So what I really appreciated and respected about the writing was that it was about that you hadn't had that conversation yet. It wasn't an anti-open message. It was, we hadn't had that conversation. And that, of course, a lack of communication is always the problem, right? So I definitely appreciated that. But yeah, I guess I was surprised to find that was the root of it, because I was on the camp of but is cheating even a thing anymore in our world? But there was obviously much more to it than that.
I mean, I agree with you that 100% I believe in open relationships at a certain point. For me personally, I think ideally you'd be with somebody for a while,
of course,
and create that kind of dynamic and that trust and that like you're my one.
Yes, and there has to be a communication.
And then going forward from that, yes, always like, what are you up to tonight? Or, hey, do you mind if I do this on Saturday?
Right.
And, like talking about that and even talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Like what was the experience like and sharing that with your partner. So I'm okay with all of that.
Yeah.
100%. But it comes with these two characters having not had that conversation. And particularly because of the dynamic where Ray was kind of holding Dwight at arm's length emotionally. And Dwight, of course, is like all in. He's trying to help Ray improve his life by, he's taking sort of the daddy role in that he's trying to get Ray to curb his expenses and to be more responsible with his money and even his time, working. And he's doing all these things for Ray. And then he suddenly just feels like, Ray is not grateful or not great. It's not even he's looking for gratitude. He's just looking for like, I'm giving you a form of love. This is my love language. And you're not embracing it.
Yeah. It's like a lack of reciprocation. It doesn't have to be like, pay me back
Right.
dollar for dollar, but like use your love language to meet me somewhere in the middle.
Exactly.
Right? I love what you said about maybe at the beginning of a relationship to kind of focus on the principal relationship and then open. Like, I think that's a very natural progression for a lot of people. We also hear from folks that are like, we were together for 20 years and then we had a threesome, right? But for me, my husband did not think that our relationship was serious at first. So the openness for him was like, la, 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 like, well, I'll just fuck whoever because this person is just someone I'm dating. Right. And then it became serious, but we were already open, right? So we just, I don't know, my experience.
I had a similar experience. It was with a younger guy who I love to death, still love. And because my experience with younger guys, I've always liked guys, I've tried to be in relationship with guys closer to my age. But I was experiencing and continue to experience that men my age tend to like younger guys. And so either I don't date or I date younger guys because that's all that's coming at me. And there was this one guy who was kind of persistent. I was like, okay. And it ended up, 9 months later, he's still there. And I was like, wow, like most younger guys I find just sort of flake off because I'm not the typical, I don't assume like a daddy role. Like I'm not, people look at me like daddy and they expect something and I'm not that. But he's stuck around. And in the meantime, I was in a relationship with somebody else also and didn't realize that we were heading in that direction, becoming more serious until suddenly we were there and we had to have that whole conversation. And we remained open from the beginning. So the same thing. I don't think that's the ideal. I wish I had, in retrospect, closed it. Just once we realized we were serious, that's my biggest regret, that we didn't close it and work on us. And because I just think it was detrimental, and it did end eventually.
You don't have to, not you, Rich, but like our listeners, people, you don't have to close forever. Like there are periods, like there are ebbs and flows, there are swings. And something you just said, I'm so grateful you repeated it because you mentioned it on Eric's podcast, is that like you don't identify necessarily with the daddy moniker, largely because it's going to be a disappointment for people. I think you use the word template, and I absolutely agree with you that for so long, the definition in this culture has been so narrow, and it is aesthetically defined, and it is like almost exclusively defined by age. So what we're trying to do is offer a more ample definition of it. So like if you don't like the template, like great, take it or leave it. But also if you're out in the world and you're like, wait a minute, I am a teacher, I am a coach, I am a mentor, but I don't have silver hair and I'm only 30, you can still be daddy.
Right. If that's your definition of daddy, actually that's the definition that I would accept for myself. I find a lot of times that it's all about the physical, and it's kind of like, I'm walking down, this happened in New York. I was walking down, I think, 23rd Street and walking past this guy, and he looks at me and he's like, ooh, daddy. And
shut the fuck up.
Get over here and get spanked.
Yeah, well.
No, but I mean, that just doesn't do it for me. But as far as like, I do have a lot of life experience now, and I don't know if I can tell somebody what to do to guide them, but I can tell them what not to do just from the mistakes I've made. Like, these are the mistakes I've made. I can share that. And there's positive things too. It's not all disappointing.
It's not all disappointing. Like, even in the thick of it, like, some really fucked up and horrible things are going on, and you're still like, yeah, but that part was cool.
Yeah, and that's, to bring it back to the show and to season 2, that's really what I loved about it, is that everybody has a victory. Everybody has a pretty significant victory, even amongst all the disappointments. And that it's not all going to be one or the other. We can have some moments of brightness in our lives that outshine, some of the moments of darkness, but everybody had their and has their victories. And I think we all need to continue to remember that. I mean, one of the reasons this podcast is so important to me is that we started it, moments after I turned 50, and this has been like my next chapter.
You're over 50.
I'm 52.
I know. Like, I dare you to find a single fucking gray hair in his beard.
Come on.
Oh, they're there.
There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them. What are you talking about?
Too far away.
Yeah. Maybe you need to have your eyes checked. No, I literally had cataract surgery yesterday.
Oh.
But I'm 52. I am. But I'm having the best time of my life. I'm having the best sex of my life. And so I just think it's really so that's what I love about the show. Season 1 was pretty rough on everybody. You beat those people up. But then you came back a few years later. Do we get a season 3?
I'm hoping the show continues.
Yeah.
I'm trying to debate, if we do it again, we're going to have to raise serious money.
Yeah.
When I say serious, I'm not talking about like what a network show would cost.
Right.
But we did season 2 for about $130,000, which is nothing.
Yeah.
When you do 8 episodes, they're almost half hour, 24, 30-minute episodes. And all of this means that nobody got paid. The actors did not get paid.
Oh, wow.
It's all, what's it called? It's a SAG New Media contract. So actors are deferring their salaries if the show makes money, they're first paid, which I love. Plus, I'm an actor in the show, so I get that too.
Yeah.
So, and the crew, like our camera guy, for instance, Jason, who's so good, he gets $2,500 a day. I think that's his day rate. For us, he was shooting for $250.
Wow.
Our
10%.
Yeah. Our PAs were getting, somebody was getting $25 a day. I can't remember who it was, but that was more than me.
Yeah, it's giving like Pizza Friday and a Metro card internship.
Guys, yes. I shouldn't say guys. Listeners, go support the disappointments.
Well, so that's the thing. So if we do a third season, I know by virtue of it, we were not able to sell the show. And it'll be 2 seasons on YouTube. I think it will wind up on YouTube again.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
If we raise enough money for people to get paid.
Yes.
And so then we're talking about like $600,000 to $1 million.
Right.
Which is really hard to raise.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of money. Like, the actors should, I don't need to get into what the actors should get paid or anything, but, it just adds up. And the other thing that gave us a great discount, we shot in friends' homes and, what was the other big? The equipment.
Yeah.
All of the equipment was from the New York Film Academy, which is a film school in Los Angeles who, someone that I had worked with at ABC Family when I was writing TV movies, she ended up teaching there and we had a conversation and she came on as a producer on the show and she got permission from the school to bring their equipment. And that's a huge savings. And we're not going to be able to do that again either.
Right.
So that's why the show would be more expensive. And then the other thing I'm thinking of is doing a movie instead.
Yeah.
Because there's more of a chance to get it out in a different kind of market than
right.
YouTube.
Right. The same characters, same premise.
Same thing.
Right.
It would be,
you do have a character who
season.
Takes a TV show and turns it into a Broadway musical. So maybe this should be Disappointments the Musical.
Without going into what happens in that, take it to Broadway. Without going into what happens in that episode, that whole character when he's talking about himself and putting himself in the play.
Yes.
I was writing myself because that's exactly what I do with this show.
Right.
Like I was making fun of myself while I was
Yes.
writing that. So that'll make sense when you see it.
Where did you get the, not like notion, but in my head, if we look at queer people and poor people as a Venn diagram, in the middle is resourceful, right? Like, where did you become so resourceful? Like, did you grow up poor?
Yeah, I guess we were lower middle class. Grew up in Stamford, Connecticut. Kind of it's a blue collar town, but my father was a white collar. Worked in corporate, but not very high up. My mother was a manager at Bloomingdale's, and yeah, we didn't have a lot of money. But
you had to get creative, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is I've had so many disappointments in my career where everything. I was going to insult some people, but I can't point to anything that I've written that got made and say to my friends, you need to watch that, because it didn't come out the way that I wrote it and intended it to come out. And I had a movie that the script still exists. It's an amazing, it's the script that you were talking about in the beginning, The Dunes of Overveen.
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, we had attached to it Alan Cumming, Helen Mirren, and somebody else. And it was going to be shot. And it was like 3 weeks or 6 weeks away from that. And it got pulled from financing. They lost the financing and it fell apart.
That is crushing.
Well, and at that point, I just decided I was working on the disappointments as a pilot. And I had just seen a web series, a premiere of a web series in a movie, in a theater that the guy who created it showed the whole thing. And I was so impressed with what he did. I walked up to him afterwards and I said, can I please have a conversation with you? And I heard, he told me everything. And I realized I can do this. Like, I can pull this together. I have an Instagram that I've just started to turn slutty. I started posting shirtless pictures. Like, oh, I'm getting responses.
Yeah.
And so I started pushing that, and I worked up to 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and did fundraisers and just got the money in. And somehow it just resourceful. Yeah. I mean, there was no difference between me and other people who have done this. They don't have anything that I don't have. So, and it's not to say that I have everything. It's just, we all do. Everybody's capable of doing things.
Yeah. And there's no deadline, right? Like,
right.
You're 60. I mean, you did this, you started The Disappointments 2018, right? So
2018 was the very beginning of it.
Right.
We shot it in 2019. We edited 2020.
So still 56 when you first started, right? Like I'm saying, I was 50 and said to Judson, want to do a podcast? Like, I just want to keep inspiring people to realize that there's no deadline.
Right.
Also, he didn't just turn to me. He brought a PowerPoint to lunch, which I love to remind him of. And that you were able to turn sluttiness, as you described, like on Instagram, into the followers, into the money. Great. Like, by whatever means, legal and harmless as possible.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of sluttiness, you've described yourself in other interviews as conservative.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Connecticut born and bred.
I think the quote was, you won't go into a dark room and randomly fuck guys. Like, you want a connection. Your kink is making love.
I like a connection.
Yeah. And so, which I love, like, that's very much clear in the show. But we do live, again, in this world of like openness and the apps. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just asking you about your sex life.
Well, I mean, stepping back a little bit to the kink thing, while I think that's true that my kink is making love, having connection, I've also developed kinks within that. When I've made connections with people, that we can explore other kinks, like, rougher sex, and
wrestling, gear, because
absolutely.
the trust is built.
Exactly. And there's a certain thing when you trust somebody, you start pushing them to the edge, and there's this connection and love, and you're looking into each other's eyes, there's a whole level of just sort of a rush that comes upon you, and like just passion and all of these things. It just gets so hot versus, for me personally, if I was with strangers and, something like that was happening, part of me would be feeling outside of myself and self-conscious and not at ease.
Right. Well, we've both been talking a lot recently about the fact that in our, I've been with my husband for together for 14 years. You guys have been together, 16 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And finding new things to do together in bed is so fun.
Yeah.
And kind of like I'm very happily surprised to know that this many years later, we can try new things and really discover a lot of fun. And not even things that have felt that extreme. But I mean, I was describing to Judson that recently, like, we had that kind of like kitchen counter sex that you see in the movies, like for the first time a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, that was incredible. Yeah. But yes, because that trust is there. And, you know, and there have been times that we've tried stuff recently too that I just like, it kind of went sour for one reason or another. We were in the middle of something and then one of the kids called up from downstairs and I was like, wah, wah. But because that trust is there, it's like it doesn't affect anything.
Right. It's not like it's a bad sexual experience and you'll never see this person again.
Right.
It
Well,
hasn't
try again next time.
Right. Exactly.
I also I really appreciate what you say about the connection, because for me personally, when I was out in the world and on drugs, like I would do anything. And that is how I justified my use. I was like, this opens me up. Like this gets me into the darker corners that I wanted to explore anyway. And then when I started to get sober and I put sex on the shelf, I was like, am I ever going to have like the confidence and the trust to do that again? And the reality for me now is like, absolutely, it just takes more time. Because before it would be walking into a room and hitting a glass pipe and then I was ready. And now it's like a couple weeks, a couple months, maybe years. And that's okay too.
Well, that's interesting because I have friends who, at this point in their lives, I don't really use a lot of drugs. I'm not like a total saint, but it's a couple times a year and it's pretty tame. But I have friends who they seem to be so locked into drugs and sex that they can only have that experience with drugs. How did you make that transition out of that? Like, how did you find sex again for yourself without the chemicals?
I put it on the shelf, as they say. I was like, the most important thing in the world is to get sober.
You put the sex on the shelf.
I put the sex on the shelf.
Yeah.
I put the sex on the shelf while I chemically detoxed and also like built a spiritual practice. And I remember being in therapy with my husband and I was like, but I want to get back to sex with him, but I want to get back to sex with him, but I want to get back to sex with him because I thought that would be like a reclamation of normalcy. And our therapist was like, the sex will come. What's most important is that you're being like physically affectionate with each other and speaking to each other. So that you are still living together and paying bills together. So for me, it was a lot of time. And also, this is like so part of both the Sober Network and the Queer Network, talking to other gay men who had been through the same thing and being vulnerable enough to ask, how did you handle this? Right. Instead of having to just do it on my own. Because I didn't know how to, I literally did not know how to fuck without being intoxicated. I had no idea how to even initiate it.
Okay.
And now he's a pro.
Yeah. I have all sorts of sober sex. It's great.
He's like his superhero name is he's the initiator.
Yeah.
Truly. I am not
that's
sitting,
actually his husband's superhero name.
That's true. My husband is so good at picking the wallflower, who like really, really, really wants to talk and engage and is just kind of like waiting. And my husband can just snatch the hottest trade because he's really warm and extroverted.
Those are good qualities.
Yeah.
So I hope I can ask this. There's a couple differences from what I know from the research I've done between Rich sitting next to me and Ray on the show that I was curious about. You're proudly 64, but Ray is about 10 years your junior, yes?
No, because season 1, he was about, what was I, 58? I think he was maybe 4 years my junior.
Okay.
Because I was trying to match his age properly to Dwight's age.
Okay.
Because I wanted to, I forget now how many years difference it is between them. You think I should know like that, but I'm 64 and I forget things.
I get that. At 52, I get that.
And in this season, I think he's probably like 61 now.
Right. So. Okay, so it was really just about you wanted there to be a certain age difference between Ray and Dwight's characters. Yeah.
Right. And I just figured I could play 61.
No, yes.
I could get away with it.
In my mind, it was a larger age difference, and I was curious.
He's not 61. He's got to be like 64.
I like the difference, and I can't think of the exact difference either, But it mirrors that with my husband.
The 25 years. That's
we're 19,
okay.
so it feels pretty close.
Okay.
It feels like very relatable.
Right.
And the other difference, I feel like in the show we know that Ray is a bottom.
You saw him have sex once in season 1, and he bottomed.
But there's also his friends have joked about him being a bottom. There's been references.
His friends joked about him being a bottom?
I swear in the first season, there was a moment where somebody made an assumption.
I stay away from those jokes.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I haven't seen it in so long. Again, 64.
But shame on you, Brian. He bottomed one time.
I know. No, I was just curious because on Eric's show, you talked about that, you typically top, not exclusively.
I consider myself verse. I
Yes.
get called to top because I'm often taller bigger than the other
Right,
person.
right.
But I love being in a situation with a guy where I have no idea when we walk into the room which we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
That to me, that's hot. That's like, it's alive. And it's not like this rote thing that you're going to go through. Like, okay, now I am topping you.
Now I am topping you.
That's really interesting.
Enjoy the sex.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I swear there was a moment, maybe it was in season 1. I'll have to go back and see if I can find a few.
Find it.
Of like somebody making a joke about like,
yes, somebody does.
Like, if you're with Ray, then I know.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so the joke is made by the character Lane, who Ray
who's
ends
horrible,
up living with.
Yes.
He is horrible, but he's also kind of the hero in the end.
Yes.
Which I won't get into what that is about either, because I think I think the actor did such a great job.
Yes. But for most of the time that we know him, he's pretty horrible. And he makes a joke about Ray being a bottom.
Does.
So between that and having seen Ray bottom, I just thought we were supposed to take that away.
Right.
So I feel a little vindicated right now.
In the flashback scene of the breakup, Ray's getting ready to top.
That's true. Okay, you're right.
So I mean, it's to me, it's.
I was just curious. In my mind, there was you guys had some differences, and I was just curious as to if there was like thought behind like why Ray and Rich were different.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
I do like that it is disruptive to this notion that we look at someone that looks like you and we're like top.
Right.
Like that's unfair, and that is uncreative, and that is boring.
Right.
We can all do all of the things.
Absolutely.
It just takes practice. And what's also nice, like I love not knowing, like walking into this situation and it's like you figure out as you go what is going to happen. I also like having some of that removed. And what I mean is I went to a jack-off party recently and had the best time because there was none of the mental gymnastics of who's going to do who to what. It's like, we're either going to kiss, we're either going to touch each other's dicks, or we're going to kiss and touch each other's dicks, and that's it. Like, there was no penetration, no oral allowed. It was only kissing and jacking.
And also, didn't you say that you wore wristbands to denote how friendly somebody could be with you?
Oh, yeah, that was really smart, too.
So that
it was red was, I'm here to watch. Yellow was, please ask. And green was like, go for it. And I was just like, fucking consent in Brooklyn in 2026 is awesome.
Well, I just love the colors. It's a stop sign.
It's a
traffic light.
We all can understand that. Yes, absolutely.
Which is the one that you'd have like that would be slippery when wet.
Yeah.
And Judson, by the way, had
purple glitter,
a green on each wrist.
I doubled up on green. I was like, I'm here to hang.
And like, no matter what angle you see me from.
Now that I know that is the color system, I will wear these glasses to match. That is absolutely my personality.
It absolutely is.
No, yes. I love that. And I agree with you, though. Like, there are times, and I have a couple different sexual partners that I have sex with regularly. For a tongue twister for me. And we have conversations about what's going to happen. Like, he doesn't live in LA, and like when we're going to see each other, like we talk about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's also super hot. Like we build up the tension by saying, getting into like whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love that. I like expectations being set. So I like to know what I'm getting myself into. But I think that's actually really interesting to like go in and like not know. Like, I'm also new to being first. I've been a bottom for a very long time, and I've recently become a top in my relationship at home and realized like, oh, I actually can do that. I always thought I wasn't like, I didn't deserve being a top. So.
Oh, interesting.
And there's this other thing in the culture that's like, I'm faggy, therefore I am quote unquote feminine, therefore I'm a bottom.
Right.
Right. I am penetrated because of my personality. And I think that's also insane.
I can attest that that is not true because the ex who became the character Dwight also, he tends to be more outwardly projecting his gayness.
Sure,
if
yeah.
I can say it that way.
Yeah, great.
And he is a fucking phenomenal top. So.
I love that.
Oh, no, I'm with you. Like you are correct. The cultural conversation is incorrect.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
No, and I'm agreeing with you on that. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, we'll take a quick break.
Dang, hot fellas.
And then we'll come back and talk about your daddy issue.
Okay.
See you in a moment.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Ellie's Eden, part of Azure Standard, was created for people who care about being thoughtful with what they buy, what they eat, and where it comes from. Growing even a small garden is a simple way to live that out. With healthy plant starts grown in Oregon from trusted non-GMO seeds, along with quality garden essentials, Ellie's Eden makes it easier to begin. Gardening helps you slow down, choose carefully, and stay connected to real food and the land. Learn more about Ellie's Eden at azurestandard.com.
Hey, listeners, welcome back to Dads and Daddies. Rich, we have a question for you.
Oh, God.
What is your daddy issue?
My daddy issue, I think, revolves around the definition of daddy. I don't feel like I respond to the broad term daddy. Like when people throw that at me, I feel like, what? Like I'm just like, that's just not me. The idea of, I was approached by somebody once, beautiful man young guy who told me that what he wanted was to take care of me and do everything in the house. And like, he would, take care of all the paying the bills and everything, but I would pay for everything. And he was calling me daddy. And I was like, I don't want that.
Right.
Wait, he's going to a very small piece here, but like he's going to handle the administrative work of the bills.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna write the checks, or sign them
from your bank account.
From my bank account.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, he basically wanted to be a 1950s housewife.
Correct.
But hot. I mean, I guess they could have been hot too. But
yes, I'm sure many of them were gorgeous.
Yes, exactly. But,
it's probably how they got husbands then.
They had to. So I struggle sometimes with the broader application of that term. We talked earlier about the concept of being a coach or being a teacher, just having sort of guidance for younger people, younger gay men, if they approach me. That's something that I feel I have to offer. Not necessarily like do what I say, but just sort of, this is what my experience has been, and like take that or leave that. But this is, possibly you can learn from this. Maybe I'm a cautionary tale. Do the other thing.
The part about like the teaching and the coaching for me as an act of service to watch people grow in confidence in anything, whether it's like their creative pursuit or financially or sexually, like that is the ample definition. But what you're saying, and we did talk about it earlier, is because we use it so narrowly, it doesn't even give you the opportunity to be like, yeah, I could coach you on this thing. Right. It's just like, oh, old beard daddy.
It has gotten to the point where I feel like it doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
but by the same token, I think that, I'm 64, so I'm heading towards the other extreme of daddiness. What am I trying to say? I mean, I'm older but when you look at like a full generation before me, guys who, if they lived to be older, they were kind of just like in the shadows.
Right.
Like right now, being called daddy means I'm being embraced. I may not like the sort of flat term, the sort of reductiveness of it, but by the same token, it's kind of great that there is a generation out there that is embracing the older generation. Like, I don't know if this is actually a comparison, but you think about Japanese culture and how, lots of different cultures, basically every culture but ours, embracing and taking care of their elders. Mm-hmm. This seems to have a little bit of a similarity, a little DNA share with that. And that's good.
Right.
So, yes, you can call me daddy, but you have to change my diaper and administer my medicines.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be, there is a reciprocity. We talked earlier about like, even if the languages of love are different, they're still meeting each other in the middle. Mm-hmm. There are certain things that daddy can provide, and the son, or the other daddy, to be frank, they have to provide something too. It's not a one-way street of like give.
Right. I agree with that. And for me, if the dynamic was set up where somebody wanted to take care of the household, and I was like the daddy coming in at the end of the day from work saying, okay, is my pot roast done? Like, that's not in any way appealing. I mean, that's something that I would kind of make fun of for myself. And, I say all that, and I in no way, I don't mean to belittle anybody who embraces that kind of daddy definition or lifestyle. It's just talking personally that it's not for me. And I had this conversation with, it was a printed interview with Queerty. Mm-hmm. And the feedback that came in was so a lot of people got it, but a lot of younger people were really sort of negative about it and vocal about it. And I looked...
That you didn't want to identify that way?
Correct.
Yeah.
Somebody said, one of the comments was, oh, he posts all these shirtless photos on his Instagram, but he doesn't want to be called daddy. It's like, why are those two things related?
Right.
Number one. And then number two, like I would go and look at their Instagrams and their pronouns would be they, them. And I'm thinking, okay, so you want me to call you they, them, but I'm asking you, I identify not as a daddy, like that broad term daddy, and you are dissing me for it. Like, why are you not making that connection?
That is a laser focused comparison that I fucking love.
Yeah.
Great point.
But, I'm talking about it now, but I don't ever engage with negative comments because that's just a black swirling hole of the internet's a terrible place. It's also a glorious place.
Right.
We're also, I'm sorry, like we're just too busy and too confident for negging. Like I am never, and it's happened to me, like people lead with negativity as a way of like wearing down your guard and then swooping in. And it's like, honey, I'm sorry. I'm way too self-aware for that to work. It's such a crazy tactic.
I wish I was good with movie quotes. There's that fried green tomatoes with Kathy Bates when she crashes her car into these young girls in their car and she starts slamming her car. I think they steal her parking space. And she's going for it, and then she starts slamming her car and, she says all these things. I'm this, I'm that, and I've got better insurance than that. It's like just because she's older, So, if I knew that quote, that would actually work.
Face it, girls, I'm older and I have more insurance.
Yeah.
Gay child in the 90s, I have that scene seared into my brain. That and all of Death Becomes Her. I've said it before. If you were 9 years old and obsessed with a 9-year-old boy and obsessed with Death Becomes Her, you are gay now.
But did it make you gay?
That is
such a good question.
So we were also on Eric's podcast, but we didn't get to answer the question, what made you gay, which he asks his guests. But but I had an answer ready, and I'm excited to tell you because your 4th episode of the 2nd season was named episode 4, A New Hope,
Thank you for catching that.
And I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as you can
Okay.
see from my pinball machine over there. And
Oh, yeah.
and Mark Hamill, I mean, I think Mark Hamill's the earliest love Luke Skywalker is like,
Okay.
when I think back to when people say what made you gay or what was the first time you knew you were gay, I think about being put to bed by my mom and then pretending that like Luke Skywalker was laying there with me and just like he was my friend and we would just chat and
the Force was with you.
And the Force was with me. No, I totally noticed that the title of episode 4 was episode 4, A New Hope. Judson doesn't get the reference, but I'll explain it after.
I've heard of Star Wars.
But Star Wars...
I haven't seen it or Heated Rivalry.
You've never seen Star Wars?
Oh.
Okay, this is off mic. We'll go through this.
That's a Substack.
There's a lot to see in the world. Like, sorry I missed it.
I know.
I'm getting on fine without it. Like, my day-to-day does not include it.
But you have seen the disappointments, right?
Yes, I did. I did watch it as research and then enjoyment.
Okay, good.
You know that Bright Light was a guest of ours recently.
Yes.
And his music features very heavily in Disappointments.
He was, I love Rod so much. He and I, somehow, I don't know who followed who first, but we were following each other and I instantly fell in love with his music.
Yeah,
and I was putting the show together and we had started a conversation, just, this is all on social media. And I really nervously reached out to him and I said, hey, I'm doing this show and I would love for your music. I'd love for you to be our Bee Gees to Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Fever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, someone scored on their SATs. That was such a good analogy.
but that was...
I love that.
So, and he loved it too. And I was serious. So that's Rod's, in the first season, Rod's music is all over. In the second season, the same thing.
Yeah.
His music, I think, is one song in particular hits at a very pinnacle moment in the end of episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's no other song I wanted for that. Like Rod's song sold that. He's so talented.
Yeah.
But why were you nervous to do the outreach or to connect?
I had no money to give him, and I was asking for the world. Actually, I was asking for a couple of songs. He came to me and said, "Look at my catalog, whatever you want." He opened up his entire catalog.
Wow.
And that's why so much of his music is in it.
Yeah. And it's so fitting. It works so well.
It's so great. It's, he's one of those people where it's like, why has the world prevented him from being huge?
Right.
Like why haven't things fallen into place for him in the way that they have for other people who don't have his talent?
I actually feel that way about Jenny Lewis. And I sometimes wonder if it is a choice. And also, like, just why aren't you huge? Like, I've been to her shows and just been like, why are there only like 1,000 or 2,000 people here instead of like 60,000? So, like, I understand that feeling. And if there's anything that I've realized from doing this show and spending time with queer creatives is that they're so generous. Like, yes, there is a piece of like, coming onto the show so I can promote my most recent work, but it's like really symbiotic. Mm-hmm. There's no one that we've talked to that just isn't, or that is exclusively out in the world for themselves. Like everyone is really here to help other queer people, like get the fucking thing done.
Right.
It's awesome. I'm glad it worked out.
No, I am too. And if his last album, there's a song on there that I see the opening, whether it's season 3 or it's the movie. I have to have this song, and it's going to be epic, and it's a Ray and Dwight moment, and it's going to be great.
I love it. Let's take one more break.
Yeah. Let's take one more break.
Yeah.
Let's take one more break.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Hey listeners, welcome back to Dads and Daddies. We have arrived at Go Ask Your Dad, where we respond to listener-submitted questions. Just a reminder, everybody at this table is a professional, but none of us are professional financial planners, lawyers, psychiatrists, or doctors. We just respond to your questions with our life experience.
To send us a Go Ask Your Dad question, please email us at dadsandaddies@gmail.com. Voice memos do turn us on the most. Judson is going to read us this week's question.
My marriage has been open for a couple of years now, but I've recently been making an effort to meet and hook up with more guys more casually. I'm happy to say I now have several actual or potential friends with benefits in play. The challenge is that between my family, work, and travel commitments, I can only fit these guys in, so to speak, by scheduling meticulously and far in advance. How weird is it to schedule a hookup a month or more in advance? I've been stringing guys along saying we should hook up soon, when what I really want to say is, can we plan to fuck on June 6th? I'm free from 1 p.m. to 4:30. I know everyone is busy and overscheduled, but am I solving that problem or just adding to it?
Wow.
I mean, Justin, you have spoken before about scheduling. I don't think you schedule months in advance, but I think you'll schedule a week in advance.
I feel to see this. I will schedule a week in advance.
Yes.
I am very excited. I have 2 scheduled hookups coming up
Yes.
in May, which are delightful for me because I have like swung back to wanting to have sex. I spent all of winter like not very interested. I don't know. I understand the heart here, and I would say false dilemma. Like, you are not going to solve gay culture. You just have to do what's best for you and your partnership. And if there are people who do not want to organize with you a week out, 3 weeks out, a month out, that is absolutely their loss. And in the meantime, it sounds like not everyone is saying no. Like, you have these actual or potential friends with benefits. So clearly there are some people out in the world, whether it's from parties or from the apps, that are like very okay with scheduling.
But I'd also wondered, does the person who wrote in with this question, do they have spontaneous moments? Like, do they have free time where they could just contact the person and say, hey, are you free now? Because that's always an option. And like, people don't necessarily have to book that hard unless the other people are so busy too that they have to do that. And so it ends up that they're just ships passing in the night constantly. But I don't think it's weird to have to schedule, particularly if you have a communication with the person, if you know them, because it sounds like several actual friends with benefits, like, so that you have a relationship with this person. So, yeah. And they're getting to know you at this point, so they know that you're busy. So I don't think that it's bad or weird. Like, do what works. But also keep in mind that you can also just like, oh my God, my husband's going out. He gave me permission. He's going to be out of the house for 4 hours. Text somebody and say, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. I, as somebody who is always overscheduled months in advance, I mean, it is a punchline amongst our friends that in order to book time with us, they need to book months in advance. I get the dilemma here. I will say a few things. I think that, kind of like Rich is saying, or along the same lines, I put blocks of time in my calendar that I just want to protect and make sure they remain free. So maybe you're already booked up for the next few months, but why don't you start putting in blocks of time that you are going to use for yourself? And maybe it's sitting on the apps and trying to find something spontaneous. But maybe also if we've been talking about Zachary Zane, who's coming up on a future episode. In his book Boy Slut, he talks about Grindr, and if in the first 15 minutes he hasn't found something, he will get off the apps, and you can use that time for something else, because we all know how much time we can waste on those apps. Right. So I will, because I guess for me, what I find challenging about scheduling sex is I want it when I want it. I want it now. And so whenever I'm on the apps, it is always for now. It is rarely for the future. If I see somebody who is like super hot, I will probably say, well, let's make it happen another time, and I will look for you, or this is when I'm available because I think they're hot enough that I will pretty much be able to get back in that mood for them. But I just don't know where I'm going to be.
Absolutely. I'm the same. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's because of my age. There are times where, I just want to stay inside and pet the dog and watch TV.
Right.
And I never know when that's going to hit me. So the thought of scheduling a month or more out, for me personally, doesn't sound appealing, because then I have to force myself to make it happen, and that's just not sexy. But I love that idea of like having blocks of time in your schedule months out, and you can do what you want with that time.
Yes.
And if having that time, you don't necessarily have to book the sex in advance. You can wait till you get closer to that time, so it's not so far out, and see if that person's available.
Right, exactly. Book it out 3 days in advance, a week in advance, not months in advance. Yeah.
Right.
Whether this is a self-imposed fret, which makes sense, like we worry about how we're out in the world treating other people, or people online have like actively rejected your suggestion to plan. For the folks who are actively rejecting your suggestion to plan, do not let them shake your confidence. Like, they do not pay your bills, and you are looking out for yourself. You are looking out for your partnership. Like Rich said, do what's best. And like, I'm going to bring it to the pod really quickly. Brian hit me up this week with like 12 dates and times that he was like, are you free for these? And I went through every single one and put every single one in my calendar with the idea that if we don't need it, it's mine. So if a friend comes to me and says, are you available at this time on this date? I can say no, because I often don't say no enough.
Right.
Like this is a problem I've put myself in. So to be mindful of planning, I think is actually really good care.
Yeah.
I think it is too. But I do wonder, it sounds like he is so scheduled up the wazoo that it would be nice to not schedule this. Like,
Right.
keep it sexy. But again, I think the answer to that is, if he's so scheduled, schedule blocks of free time, and you can do whatever you want with it. It could be sex.
Right.
Like if the sex doesn't pan out, like I don't know if you have a dog or a park or something, but like go roller skate, go walk your dog, go like relax, meditate.
There's this current trend in corporate America, which is fascinating to me. Have you heard of calendar mirroring? So you have two calendars. They're the same thing.
Right.
One is your calendar, and you can be explicit on everything that it says. And the other calendar is public facing, and all it says, I have seen this probably dozens of times.
It's just busy.
Busy. And I'm fucking obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, y'all are out here being freaky.
Well, I hope our answers were helpful to you. Thank you so much for submitting the question. Again, send us your questions at dadsanddaddies@gmail.com. Remember that we have a couple doctors who are waiting to come back and give you more thoughts. So Dr. Evan Goldstein, the country's leading anal health expert, will answer all your bottoming questions. Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis, Chief Medical Officer at Callan Lord and former vaccination chief at the CDC, is we call him Dr. Daddy, and can answer all your queer health questions. So send us some questions for them as well. Rich, tell everybody how they can find you.
Well, the main place to find me these days is on YouTube, the Disappointments channel, and you can watch season 1, the director's cut, and season 2 of the Disappointments. This is coming out in May, so the 7th episode, there'll be one more episode to go when this podcast comes out, and then all of them will be out.
Yeah.
And also Instagram at Hey Rich Ray. It's HEY, like hey.
Hey Rich Ray.
Rich, and my middle name is Ray, which is the main character.
Which is the character's name, yes.
Because I didn't want to call the character Rich.
Right.
So Hey Rich Ray at Instagram.
And as you described earlier, your newly slutty Instagram feed.
Yeah, well, right now it's the Disappointments feed. It'll get back to slutty
soon.
If we're going to do fundraising, it will get outright horrid.
I love it.
Ebbs and flows, baby.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
for coming all the way
a pleasure.
from LA.
Thank you.
Let's do it again.
I'd love to. Yeah.
We'll all party with Eric and and Judson's going to be spending some time on the West Coast this fall, and so I might come out too. So we'll all hang out.
Okay, that'd be fun.
Thank you all for being with us yet again. We love you all so much. Please do check out dadsanddaddies.com. Sign up for our weekly newsletter. Get yourself some Dads and Daddies merch. We're about to get Rich's size and get him all suited up. What else? Please do leave us a rating and a review. They really do help us out so much. That's it. We will see you in a week.
What are the how can we find your podcasts and such? Where are you?
Oh, we're everywhere. These listeners know that.
Okay, good. You might have a new listener.
Yes.
Ooh, dadsanddaddies.com.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all there.
Dadsanddaddies.com.
All right.
Listen,
Yeah.
Like, share.
Thank you for that.
All that stuff.
Subscribe.
All that stuff. Yes. All right. Thank you all. We will see you in a week.
See you in a week.
Bye.
You don't buy on hope, you study the label. At Azure Well, we support that. Our commitment is simple. Tell the truth. Every ingredient listed, every amount disclosed. No proprietary blends, no guesswork. We go beyond organic and basic testing with comprehensive third-party verification. Take a look at what's in your cabinet, then visit AzureLivingWell.com to shop and learn more. That's AZURE livingwell.com. These products have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.